All right, Kansas City, welcome. This is your host, Louis George Walker, KUAW Radio, and we're coming to you today to let you know, those of you that listen to our show 24 hours on the TuneIn app and on our webpage, www.kuaw.org, that there's been a fire, and I will tell you a little bit more about that later. But we did lose our connections. Our server is down right now, so our audio side is not working. So we're not putting anything out on our audio side. So we're not getting anything out on our audio side. So all of our shows that are audio only and our syndicated shows have been disrupted. So if you listen normally to Warren Valentine's show here from 10 to 12 every day, or the Cheryl Underwood show from 12 until noon, and on the weekend we have Jamal Bates, and we also have Blues Time in the City. So those shows, along with our news shows and stuff, everything that broadcasts on the TuneIn app and on our Alexa, all those things that you can pick up, they're temporarily down. We're working to get that service restored right now due to a fire that happened, and this is how technology worked. There was a fire in Germany that actually knocked us out off the box right here in Kansas City, Missouri, because our servers happen to be over in Germany. That's where our servers are based from. So we're off the air there. They're coming back up. We've got another connection made. So as soon as our TuneIn connection gets reestablished and our www.kuaw.org connection is reestablished, our audio side would be back on. So right now there's a little interruption in our broadcast, but just so that you don't miss everything, I'm going to play a little bit of Cheryl Underwood today. We're going to do it via the internet. We're going to do it through YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all of those so that you get a little bit of it. And if you haven't been listening to it, this may be something new for you. But you can listen at kuaw.org when we get back online, or on your TuneIn app, to Cheryl Underwood every day from noon until 2. We have Lunch with Cheryl. You don't want to miss Lunch with Cheryl. So for those of you that haven't been picking us up on the TuneIn on our audio only page, KUAW Radio, we're going to give you a little treat today so that you can see what you've been missing. So let's start this off with a little bit of the Cheryl Underwood show, and I'll be right back to talk with you.
It's the jump off. Welcome to the Cheryl Underwood show. Hot topics. We discussing anything. It's a go. We going live now. Got a favorite song calling to the show. Is he ready? Yep. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Cheryl Underwood Radio in effect. In effect, baby. The Iceman coming to Big Frost. Super producer.
Oh,
Lord. Productions.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yep. Yep. Frosty.
What?
Frosty.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Frosty.
yeah.
Frosty. Frosty. All right.
Oh, boy.
Give it up.
Mm-hmm.
Second genius. Lawyer up every day.
Mm-hmm.
With Judge Harry Sutherland. Country lawyer. Good morning, Judge.
Hear ye. How y'all doing today? Everybody
What?
good?
What? What's happening?
He thought he'd change up today.
See if y'all paying attention.
Wow.
What is that?
Wow. I know. What's going on? What's happening?
Just glad to be here. Just glad to be here again.
Yeah.
Always good to be in the courthouse.
Okay.
Yep. That's what we calling it. Well, good morning, Judge. Always good to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Kyle Irby's our man rights activist.
Be a man at all times.
You will on this show. Courtney Black has our facts.
That vaccine update and that news you can use.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That BlackRadioSolidarity.com vaccine update. Jim Kelly is the owner and proprietor of the sports bar. I am Cheryl Underwood. You are listening to Cheryl Underwood Radio. Cheryl Underwood Radio is sponsored by the Metamucil HBCU Divine Nine Challenge. Let's get to that J. Anthony Brown Hot and Mofo Nuts word of the day. Patrilineal. Patrilineal, Patrilineal, Patrilineal. Patrilineal is an adjective. Definition: related to, based on, or tracing descent through the paternal line. Patrilineal was first used in 1904. Patrilineal is our J. Anthony Brown Hot and Mofo Nuts word of the day. Let's get our Cheryl Underwood Radio News from Courtney Black with the facts.
Thank you, Cheryl. It's Courtney Black with the facts, and I have your Cheryl Underwood Radio News. About 1 in 10 Americans, that's more than 32 million people, are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. But experts say that number is nowhere near high enough to suppress the spread through herd immunity. Around the world, richer nations are administering about 1 vaccine dose every second, but most of the poorest nations have not received a single shot. The University of California, Davis, also known as UC Davis, is offering students an incentive to staycation for spring break instead of traveling. The Healthy Davis Together Spring Break Grant will award 500 applicants $75 to spend during the March 22nd through 25th break in the Davis, California area. The idea is to limit coronavirus transmission and spend the money on local businesses rather than somewhere else. Senator Bernie Sanders said the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill is the most significant legislation for working people that has been passed in decades, and this is based on the various provisions for struggling Americans that the bill includes. Donald Trump put his name on the stimulus checks issued during his administration, but President Joe Biden will not. Biden plans to nominate Lena Khan to the Federal Trade Commission. The House has passed the so-called PRO Act. It's a bill that encourages unions and enhances the power of workers to organize and collectively bargain for wages and benefits, but it may have a hard time passing the Senate. Medical experts have lowered the recommended age for lung cancer screenings to 50 from 55 to protect women and Black Americans. And lastly, First Lady Michelle Obama will be inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. This is Courtney Black with the facts, and this has been your Cheryl Underwood Radio News. Stay tuned. We have more coming up right here on Cheryl Underwood Radio.
All right. Yes, we're going to be back with Cheryl Underwood in just a hot second here. This is KUAW Radio, and we wanted to let you know that this is the way it goes on every weekday on KUAW Radio. You can join in and you can check out some of Cheryl Underwood's show. So we hope that you will join us there. Now, her show is broadcast from California. They do that, and we made it available. So we're going to let you enjoy a little bit of Cheryl as we go through this day. We're going to try and get set up another segment. But there was a fire in Strasbourg, Germany, that disrupted the services of our internet provider, not our internet provider, but basically our, what do I want to say? The servers that actually hold our show work on it. So that's why we've been able, or haven't been able, to broadcast for the last couple of days. It's been about 36 hours that they've actually been down. So we're struggling through that. We're gonna keep on hanging in there and trying to bring you some more. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But that's how technology is.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
But here we go.
Thank
back
you,
to
Super
Cheryl
Producer.
Underwood.
You're listening to Cheryl Underwood Radio. Cheryl Underwood Radio is sponsored by the Metamucil HBCU Divine 9 Challenge. It is Affiliate Appreciation Month here at Cheryl Underwood Radio. The entire month of March, we appreciate all of our over 600 affiliates. We're going to break it down right after the HBCU shout out why we have so many affiliates, and we're going to talk about our March virtual affiliate meeting. Let's see. But first, Judge Harry Sutherland. There's a lot of news on the jury selection for Derek Chauvin.
Yes, correct.
With the George Floyd trial. They seem to have picked a few jurors, or seated a few jurors. This jury selection is of interest to the world because lawyers are beginning the process of questioning the jurors. What are they looking for in the questioning?
That's a good idea. Let me tell you about that. What they're looking at now is our focus on the knowledge of the case, whether we have a history of the case or we have seen the case on TV, the attitude towards police officers, and also our willingness to keep an open mind. So those are the three focuses that they're looking at when they're picking a juror.
And since Derek Chauvin's criminal trial is taking place in Minneapolis, we want to thank our eyes and ears on the ground, our affiliate in Minneapolis, Minnesota, KMOJ FM 89.9, for keeping us abreast of what's going on there. And I think this is an important case for the country, because rarely, if there's a shooting and the body cam is not on, then you don't see it, or if you do see it, you see it after the fact. I think what makes this horrific, Judge, is that you are watching something that could have been stopped.
That's right.
It's something that could have been stopped, and the restraint that you think that law enforcement officers should have in their training. That if you see that you are doing something, you should be able to stop it. And Courtney Black, that is why when you hear us saying Black Lives Matter, that means they have value.
That's right.
And we as a people of color would feel like you would have stopped if it was a white person.
We
That's
know.
right.
That's what we feel. That's what we feel. That's our feeling. But you did not stop because you did not value the life of this black man. When we come back, we're going to talk about what is going on in voting, and we're going to talk about the bills that have been passed, because we are at the top of the show on Cheryl Underwood Radio. That's right, we're getting that word on the street, that news you can use, and we're being led by our favorite country lawyer, Judge Harry Sutherland. Cheryl Underwood Radio, sponsored by the Metamucil HBCU Divine 9 Challenge.
What's up? It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and the word on the street is it's time for a social media shout out. I'm headed to Facebook and I asked the poll question: does The Bachelor, the TV show, hiring a black host, Emmanuel Achu, heal all wounds for you with the show? And y'all go hard in the paint. Let me shout out Chris Kane Early. She said no, stopped watching it years ago, got sick of the drama. Okay, Chris. Brenda Menifee said hell no. Dale L. Wilson rarely watched the show. It's too scripted. Karen Miller said BS. Y'all are funny. Thank you so much for voting and for commenting. If you want me to shout you out, follow us on Facebook at Cheryl Underwood Radio.
All right. Yeah, this is new for me coming to you, but this is KUAW Radio, and I'm George Walker, letting you get a little bit of the Cheryl Underwood show that goes on here daily on our audio side. So if you go to www.kuaw.org, you're able to pick this show up every weekday. You can pick it up on your smartphones. All you have to do is go to the TuneIn app, and you hit tune in, and you can have lunch with Cheryl every day, and you get this type of show with news, information, a little bit of entertainment, and some old school music in between. So in between the segments, instead of me talking like I am now, you be getting some of the Temptations, some of Marvin Gaye, some of Stack Sound, Isaac Hayes, all of those that we play. We play a lot of old school music here. So be sure and check us out on your Alexa speakers or your smartphones and stuff. If you tell it to play KUAW, we'll come up on there. But right now we're not. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about for a hot second. There was a fire in, let's see if I can bring that up. Here you go. There's a picture of it. There was a fire in Strasbourg, Germany. Yeah, Strasbourg, Germany. You say, what does that have to do with us? Well, the building that you see burning is a data center. And in that data center, they had servers, and KUAW Radio actually was doing business with a company that had a server housed in that building. That's how our internet audio stream goes out. Now, our Facebook and our YouTube and all the video services that we provide and shows that we show, they weren't bothered by that. But because of all of our audio shows, because we also broadcast in an audio-only format, that's where you'll hear Cheryl Underwood. You'll also hear shows like Blues Time in the City and the Jamal Bates Show, some of our Making Contact Newses and Radio Curious. All of those shows, along with Professor Smooth Jazz, they're on our audio-only side, and all of our music is on the audio-only side. So when this building caught fire, it actually damaged or destroyed our server that was on there. So they're in the process of rerouting, getting other servers online. A lot of other companies were bothered with that. If you had some other internet provider, you may have found yesterday that there was a problem. And this is what caused it, was this fire right here. So that's how the world is interconnected, you know. So we have things that happen way across the country, and they also affect us here. But it gives us opportunity to let you hear a little bit of Cheryl Underwood on KUAW Facebook, on our YouTube page, on our Twitch and Twitter page. So those of you that may not have heard Cheryl before, you can listen to her now. But once we go back to our audio only side, that's where she'll be, because they don't broadcast any pictures. It's for radio. So it will be on the KUAW radio site, kuaw.org. You go there, you hit the play now button, and it'll play. Or if you have the TuneIn app, you can tell Alexa, your smartphones, or if you're in your car, you got a Bluetooth adapter, go to the TuneIn app, search KUAW, and you'll be able to hear us there too, just the same. But right now, we're going to take you back to Cheryl Underwood and what's going on in the Cheryl Underwood show right now. So here we go.
And we're back with more.
Wait a minute. I'll get it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Bring up Cheryl Underwood here. She's not. Okay, Cheryl doesn't want to play for us at this hour now. What's going on, Cheryl? You were doing just fine. Okay, we'll bring it back to you in just a minute. Hang on there while I do a little song and dance, and we'll get you the next segment of Cheryl Underwood here. We'll bring it up right here. Here we go.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. You're listening to Cheryl Underwood Radio. Cheryl Underwood Radio, sponsored by the Metamucil HBCU Divine 9 Challenge. Our phone lines are open to you. 1-855-SHERYL1. What's that number, Courtney Black?
The number is 1-855-743-7951.
1-855-SHERYL1 is the number that you can call if you want to weigh in on anything that we're talking about here. I think there are two things going on, Judge Harry Sutherland, a favorite country lawyer. First, the popularity of the COVID relief bill and its ambitions versus the Trump family trying to stay relevant and trying to avoid things that they can avoid, like Trump launching a new attack on the GOP. I guess here's the problem. Don't use my name in nothing that you're trying to raise money for, because I'm trying to raise money for it myself, and I still need to be part of this party to run my hustle. Harry, you say what? Judge, you say what?
I totally agree. And he wants to be a part of the RNC, but he wants to control all the money for the RNC. Mm-hmm. And he's saying, don't use my name. And they're saying that they actually can use his name based on their protection through the First Amendment. But then he went back and he's going to contact all of his donors and supporters directly via email and say, listen, send all the money for the RNC, send it to me and not to them.
Jim Kelly, you and I are registered Republicans. I am a never Trumper, but you are a registered Republican. Are you sending your money to the SAP organization?
Not to Trump's organization, Cheryl.
Yeah, that's what it's called, SAP.
Right.
Save America PAC, SAP.
My money will not be going there.
Right. You're not going to the SAPs.
No, not one of the SAPs.
That makes no sense. It makes no sense.
SAP, whatever.
That's right. Here's what I think is odd, boys and girls, is that while states, and we mentioned this earlier in the week, are restricting citizens' access to the voting process, Trump requests a mail-in ballot. Something that they're saying they can't do. They don't want people of color doing it. But Jim, a lot of Republicans vote by mail. So you're really damaging yourself, Judge Harry Sutherland?
Absolutely. During this, I would say 2020 November general election, he was, touting fraud and talked about it after the election, after he had lost, that it's fraud to vote by mail. And he actually requested a mail-in ballot and voted by mail in the Florida election. It's a local election in Florida. Hypocritical, so Cheryl. Hypocritical.
It's hypocritical because it's, what is it? Do what I what? Do what I... Kyle, do what I
say, not as I do.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And people are figuring this out, and that's why I don't think it's going to be Trump. I don't think they're going to make it to 2020. I don't think they're going to make it through the midterms 2022, and I don't think they're going to make it 2024. Judge Harry Sutherland, here's what I'm going to need from you. First, we have to figure out what the poll question going to be, Courtney Black, because it's so much stuff that we could do in the poll question. I think the poll question should be: would you send your money to anything connected to Donald Trump? Anything. Anything. Okay. Courtney Black, you have our facts with our show Underwood Radio social media shout outs and our poll question. You want to participate in the poll question at Underwood Radio, Twitter at Show Underwood Radio, Facebook, and Instagram. That will be our top of the show word on the street poll question. But coming up next, your favorite country lawyer, Judge Harry Sutherland, is going to use his fraternity brother Phi Beta Sigma, J. Anthony Brown's Hot and Mofo Nuts word of the day, patrilineal, to make his point in Brothers Gonna Work It Out. And Brothers Gonna Work It Out is sponsored by the Elite Home Healthcare Agency out of Rayford, North Carolina, and the Metamucil HBCU Divine 9 Challenge.
Now here's Courtney Black with your vaccine update.
It's Courtney Black with the facts on Cheryl Underwood Radio, and I have your BlackRadioSolidarity.com vaccine updates. CDC has released new guidelines for people fully vaccinated against COVID-19. If you have been fully vaccinated, you can gather indoors with fully vaccinated people and unvaccinated people without wearing a mask, unless you're around someone who has an increased risk of COVID-19 or severe illness. And while you can do that without masks, they're still saying you should protect yourself and others by wearing a mask, staying 6 feet apart, and avoiding crowds and poorly ventilated spaces. So still take those earlier precautions. And lastly, they also said that they're still learning how effective the vaccines are against variants of the virus. And they're still learning how well the vaccine keep people from spreading the virus. So I hope that helps. It's Courtney Black with the facts. You're listening to Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Brothers gonna work it out.
This is Harry Sutherland, your favorite country lawyer, and I'm the brother who's going to work things out. The word of the day is patrilineal, and it means relating to or based upon relationship with your father or descent through the male heritage line. Republicans, I want to talk to y'all today, specifically Senator Lindsey Graham, who said that part of the $1.9 trillion relief bill is reparations for black farmers. Yeah, you said it, Senator Graham, and I want to talk to you about that. But you're saying that what they're going to receive is probably some type of loan forgiveness if they qualify. But the bill don't say just black farmers. It says minority farmers, but it says also all farmers. So anybody who's distressed and disadvantaged may, I would say, apply for loan forgiveness. Does not mean that they're going to get it. But let me go back and say this. Historically, in 2020-21, there are 3.4 million farmers in the United States. Only 45,000 are black farmers. Listen now, out of 3.4 million farmers, only 45,000 are black farmers. Why is that, Senator Graham? Well, let me tell you why. Your patrilineal ancestors stole their land, forced them into selling their land, and did not provide them with the same resources or subsidies to allow them to be able to compete like white farmers. That's why there are only 45,000 farmers left, of black farmers left in our country today. So this is not reparations. This is what is due to Americans, and it's not enough for black Americans and black farmers to get what's due to them because of the land that was stolen. I tell you what you do. Wipe all this bill out, $1.9 trillion, and give them back their land. Give them back their resources. Give them back their loans that y'all owe them. And then we'll call it even. This is Harry Sutherland, your favorite country lawyer, and I'm the brother who's working things out.
All right. So that's what I wanted to bring you today so that you could hear a little bit of Cheryl. That's 1/4 of the Cheryl Underwood show. We actually do 4 quarters of that over a 2-hour period every day of the week right here at KUAW Radio. So as soon as we get our servers back up and that the lines are reconnected through TuneIn and onto our webpage. We'll bring you little tidbits, a little snippets of Cheryl Underwood on video so you can check it out. But just wanted to let you know that we appreciate you, and Cheryl Underwood, the Blues Time in the City, Jamal Bates, all of the shows that be coming on the audio only side will be back. So keep listening to KUAW radio, and we'll be back, and I'll be on here letting you know that we've got that back in line. Now, our live shows have not been bothered. So at 2 o'clock, we're going to have Cognition, Speaking the Unspeakable with JP and Stacy D, just as regular. And at 5 o'clock today, be sure and stay tuned for the DigiSys in a Digital World, which is featuring Ina Montgomery. So we want you to check those two shows out. Those are two of the live shows that will be coming from KUAW today. And continue to listen to KUAW whenever you get a chance. We'll be broadcasting a few more videos for those of you that can't get the audio only right now. But we're going to have that back up soon. We're working on it. I hope that it's up in another day or so, but you just don't know with this big fire disaster that went on. Like I said, it was in Strasbourg, Germany, and it was a company called OVH, which is a big server or data. They have data centers in a lot of different companies. Many customers of OVH, and it says it's the largest native cloud provider, complained on Twitter about down websites and applications hosted at the campus in eastern France. Some appeared to not have disaster recovery plans or backup sites. Well, that's KUAW. We don't have a backup site, and we didn't have another way to get that out. Being a small company, we were just broadcasting, and when they go down, we go down. The cause of the fire had not been determined as of Wednesday morning, U.S. Pacific time. The OVH founder and chairman, Octave KUAW, tweeted about the incident as it was unfolding on Wednesday. It says that the fire destroyed their SBG2 data center completely and 4 rooms in the SBG1, according to an incident report on the company's website. UPS was down in the SBG3 facility, and the remaining SBG4 data center had no physical impact. So it was a big fire. It caused a lot of damage to one of the larger, I'd say medium data center providers, because Google and Amazon and them are the big boys. But OVH and their up and coming cloud provider, and this is definitely something that you don't want to see happening. And we definitely didn't want to see it happening to our stuff. But we want to thank you for listening to this little bit, and that I hope you enjoyed the Cheryl Underwood show. Be sure and give Cheryl a call. Like you said, you may have heard the shout out. You can call at 1-855-Cheryl-1. That's listed right here. Give a call and tell them that you heard about her show on KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. I want to thank you for listening. Have a good day. We'll see you later.